Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor.
Welcome back, everybody. Joined by Chris Protopoulos and Don New here in the studio representing Hatchery and Wild. Upcoming banquet on the 6th of December up at A. A number of different reasons to go, let alone, of course, learning more about Hatchery and Wild and supporting them in a number of different ways. And you're going to have a chance to win some cool stuff. You know that these banquets are always, well, one, really cool that way, but two, they always got good food. A is well known for that. But before we cut out this last segment, we had mentioned, you know, what is it that Hatchery and Wild will be doing in order to help more fish end up in there? And then, of course, we got to talk more about some of the speakers and folks that are going to be there at that banquet.
So the history is, most people know about the North Coast Rendezvous, and for years and years and years, Jack Smith and Dave Champ had said, we got to do something about the anti-hatchery zealots.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't use the word zealot, but I'm using it.
Of course.
And they talked about it for 10 years or so, and about 6 years ago, they knew that I did branding and design work and the creative stuff, and they came to me and said, can we do this? And I said, well, shoot, yeah, we can do this. And so we launched it. We launched it through the North Coast Salmon Steelhead, Enhancement Fund, and CCA Oregon. They funded a little bit of money from both sides, and we launched this thing, 501c3 status and all that.
Sure.
So we started a little cart at the Portland show and over in Bend and somewhere in Seattle, I think, and took that around, handed out brochures. But our strategy was to get all the people in the angling wheelhouse to come in and support us with their brand. We didn't ask them for money. So I went to Sportco, they said sure. Then I went to Fisherman's Marine and they said, well, Sportco's doing it, we're in. Then I went to Three Rivers Marine and they said sure, and so Stevens jumped in. 265 companies later, you see on that graphic, those are our pre-launch sponsors and donors. People are just super generous, and they're supporting us because of the film work we've done, you know, and social media. The very beginning, we just wanted to educate people. We were tired of people sitting on their couches griping about the anti-hatchery people and hatcheries being closed or lack of fish. And we just wanted to educate people with pure science, facts, anecdotal evidence, and a place to go and get all that so they could speak intelligently about why we need hatcheries.
Which is unquestioned. I mean, like you mentioned earlier, without hatcheries, I mean, very literally all of our fisheries would be done. We're not allowed to keep wild fish, and 99% of the fisheries around here fall Chinook in the right time frame, in the right spot, depending on the day, depending on the hour, sometimes if you can retain one that's got a fin on it or not. I mean, it's all about hatcheries, and if you were unaware, there are countless groups out there with significantly more funds than Hatchery and Wild that are just trying to get that information out there that are already successful with ruining and shutting down hatcheries all over the place. It's disgusting, but that's not my place to talk about it right now. But you're going to be up at the banquet as well.
Oh, absolutely.
You're going to be talking there. You have other guest speakers that are going to be there as well.
Yeah, we have. We have some really good speakers lined up from the industry, speakers from ODF&W and Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife. Herzog is going to be the kind of the fabric that kind of pulls all this together, sort of like an MC, as only Herzog will be able to do.
That'll be interesting.
We're going to try.
That's worth the price of admission right there.
Back to this point you made. There are two metrics. Our anti-hatchery zealots, if you look at one of the executive directors' annual salary, it's 10x what our annual budget is.
Right.
If you, on the fish side, there's a guy named Dr. Lackey at Oregon State that came out with a study, and it portrayed from 65 different smart people from the basin, it portrayed that he asked the question, if you eliminated commercial, if you eliminated us anglers, if you eliminated everything that we're responsible for, we can't change the fact that we screwed up the habitat. That's not going to change. Put up dams, whatever your position is. If we got all of those barriers out of the way, how long would it take for wild fish to recover? To abundance, which is what these folks talk about. Abundant, teeming, it's just drama. Teeming rivers, like the Clackamas was going to have when they shut down that summer run of 30 years ago. 65 of those people said the wild fish will blink out in 2 cycles.
Right.
And why? Well, instead of 30,000 pinnipeds 30 years ago when the Marine Mammal Act came up, there are now 360 to 380,000 go up on the Clackamas or the Cowlitz or the Sandy, but they're still there. So what are they going to eat? They're going to eat ESA-listed wild fish.
Yeah, they're going to eat them all.
Why would you think for a second that if an orca looks out over a field of 100 fish and 70% on the Columbia and in the ocean, 70% are hatchery fish, is that orca going to say, oh no, I'm not going to eat those ESA-listed wild fish? They're just going to slam them all day long. So that's just stuff that people need to know. Now that's all, you know, slang and all that kind of stuff. Go to the data, get smarter, and if you get one of these people that are, you know, in this mystery world of everything's going to be abundant, if we eliminate all this stuff, you can give them facts.
Yeah, and which is the scariest part. And what he had mentioned earlier, they are money-making operations. They make millions of dollars, and it goes into personal people's pockets. It's not about the fish. It's a way that they make money, and you can come at me on that one again. You remember you did that before, and you failed. Anyway, you know who you are. I love that stuff. Okay, so you're going to be there. There's a raffle that's going on. Can you tell us a little bit about the raffle?
We got all kinds of raffle items. We've got a silent auction. We've got an oral auction. We've got games. There's going to be a lot of stuff given away.
Okay.
It's focusing on Christmas time, Christmas giving. Yeah, so you're going to see gifts there that if you go out and get that at a store, that fish finder is going to be half at our deal.
Right. Well, and that's one of the funnest parts about these banquets. Or zero.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. Yeah. Some of these things that you can go and participate in, of course, it's fun. You have a chance to meet a lot of like-minded folks. Of course, you can do some good and get some education and also help a great organization that is doing everything that they can to help ensure that this education gets out there rather than suppressed by so many other groups that are out there, which is absolutely going on. And if this continues, I mean, I really just don't want, we've talked about it before, we don't want to think about what it would be like if the CCA and folks like Hatchery and Wild and salmon trout, steelhead,
Northwest
steelheaders, and others. There's other groups that are out there doing the same thing. Without those helps, we would be in a tremendous amount of hurt. But you mentioned a gift. Chris brought in a gift. Your tech tip that you're going to show us.
Okay.
All right. Now, we got to cut through a break. We're already up against the wall. We're going to continue to talk a little bit about the banquet, though, but we have a tech tip. It's our Chevy Silverado tech tip of the week. And when I talked with Chris yesterday via text, he didn't say what he was bringing in, and I'm a little bit surprised that he did. We'll have that for you when we come back from this break. No point.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by Yakima Bait, steeped in tradition, innovation, and fishing success. Procure Bait Sense, ruthlessly effective. And by North American Metals Incorporated, first choice for all your metal roofing and siding needs.